All right, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to another year. Today is the 5th of January 2026. Interesting. It's exactly a year ago since I started doing these live sessions, and here we are, another year. Let's see how let's see how it goes. Okay, so we're gonna start with the dollar index. Now we are in a new month, so we're gonna look at from the monthly perspective. And looking at the monthly perspective, it looks like we are kind of stuck in a small little range in here. Towards the end of the year, I gave you a level to watch where price is likely gonna reject. We'll go into the lower time frame in a minute, but the fact that we've closed above this candle's high, right, this candle's high, and we have a last down candle here where we've closed above, it's showing that the probability of price moving higher is greater than the probability of price moving lower. Okay, so I'm still to the upside on the dollar index. Hence, towards the end of the year, I gave you this exact level, right? I measured the range, and I said to look out for this level, the OT level 618, specifically where I have these two lines, right? So if you go to the daily time frame, this level, right, and the volume imbalance with the order block, and that is where we had a reaction off from. Now when we had the reaction, obviously I was monitoring price to see if we could go through the volume imbalance, and we did. So this drop here, in my opinion, was a manipulation, because when price was able to go through the volume imbalance, it was meant to trade inside this fair value gap, but it fell down once more, and in falling down, the run below this low was a manipulation. So if you look at the RSI, you see that this low and this low, they don't correspond, right? One is higher than the other. That is when you know that there was manipulation, and that's one way of identifying manipulation. If you want to identify manipulation, you can use the understanding that I've just given. So for example, if we have let's say an order block right here, okay, and then price breaks the order block, then immediately price drops down again, right? When it's dropping, okay, you based on the fact that they've broken give me 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry guys. So as I was saying, the fact that we broke the up candle, I'm using the up candle as the example. It could be a fair value gap, it could be a high. Okay, So if I can draw it over here, oops. So if we have something like this, right? Now we have an order block here, we have a fair value gap here, we have this high over there. Now if price takes out the fair value gap, sometimes the order block will prevent it and go down. But if they take the order block and then comes back down again, in here, the fact that they've managed to break this order block, most of the time this drop is going to be manipulation. And if you can use the RSI, you will see something like this, where this low will make a lower low and this low will make a higher low. And when it's coming back up, most of the time you eventually see them break this high and then go up. Okay, so that is what I'm highlighting over here, the fact that they went through this volume imbalance, because that volume imbalance was meant to send price lower. Okay, so the fact that they were able to break it here with that up candle meant that this drop was manipulation. And then moreover, when they were able to go through this one again, because that's also a volume imbalance, the fact that they were able to go through it again over there meant that they were going to break this up candle. So you see I highlighted this equal high, and then price basically is going for that. Oh, we've already gone for it. So the opposite will be true for the euro. So euro, I also highlighted this area here and this order block, that price was gonna reverse from there, and same thing, right? They went for the high and then rejected. So as it stands, euro is likely gonna take out this low, and possibly we can come all the way down here. Okay, we can come all the way down here. So you're gonna now use order flow, which is the high being taken, this down candle being broken, this gap being broken. You're gonna stay with the order flow. Anything coming back up will be a pullback for a continuation to the downside. Okay, so you're gonna start looking forward for a continuation to the downside on the euro. Same thing with the British pound, with this little bit of slight difference. British pound also, I highlighted that high that they're going to, basically it's OTE. Okay, if you measure the range, right, that's 70.9. Sorry, 70.5 retracement level, and then we are rejecting. So you can look forward for continuation to the downside on that. Euro pound, I think that is also likely gonna attack this low. Now initially I was expecting them to break this up candle and go up, but it failed. They broke back down again, so the order flow prevailed. This is a pullback and then continuation. So as it stands, they are likely gonna, price is likely gonna take out this low. Okay, 0.86560, that is the likely level. Okay, so with that, now obviously you can see euro is very weak, but this will also be weak at some point. So you can track both of them, choose which one you want to trade. Now if you look at the British pound right now, the high of London has been taken and then we broke down. Okay, so we have left a fair value gap. I think a 30-minute order block will be created, that one. Okay, so if we pull back to that, if you pull back to that, you can actually go short and then look for a continuation to the downside for today or maybe tomorrow to attack previous week low. Okay, so that can be a trade idea because the euro is too weak, is gone. Okay, so focus on the British pound attacking the previous week low. Gold, let's look from the weekly perspective. So from the weekly perspective, we have closed below this up candle. So for now, the highest probability is price is likely gonna come back for the previous week low from inside this fair value gap. Actually, exactly where, I don't know. The profile, weekly profile will decide that. Hence, maybe they might be forming it now. If in the next 31 minutes, if this candle can close as it is, then you can frame a trade idea, definitely using a stop loss above this candle's high, and then looking for a continuation to the downside. Okay, that's if the current candle closes bearish. In the next 31 minutes, you can use that to frame a trade idea to go down. Okay, so that is the business for gold. Crude oil. Now with crude oil, I'm gonna be a little bit patient with it because we've now entered the new year, and as with always, January usually you see crude oil being bullish, and I think we went for that low as we described last time we were here. But since all of this to me is balanced, the only imbalance left right now is a few somewhere up here and then here, oops, and then here. So that is where we might get some reaction off from. Now from the weekly perspective, we are still bearish, but this bearishness is similar to what I was describing on the on, I think it was dollar index, right? The fact that we've made a lower low and the RSI is making higher lows. Okay, it's a sign of accumulation. So ideally we want this up candle to give up, and then we will start aiming for 63, which coincides with the seasonal pattern that the market always does. So in my opinion, we can start looking for longs on the H4, obviously keeping a a stop loss, right? Now we can aim for this gap on the daily, but with the potential that we can break it. Okay, so I'm not saying that is where it's gonna go, but that's a potential. It can break it because of the time of the year that we are in. We might get a seasonal move to the upside for the crude oil market. So we can break this high. For now, maybe just trading to go over here will be ideal. But yeah, if you do manage to get in, then definitely hold something for beyond that. Okay. ES also managed to go and make that all-time high as we were discussing before we went for the break. It made it so hard, but eventually did it. Now in a new year, obviously starting from the monthly time frame, I personally don't like trading the indices during the January, February, March period, because that's the fresh start of the new year where investors will be looking at different factors for the year. So maybe for the beginning of the year, take your time on this beast, because it can easily do something that you might not expect, simply because we've just started the year. Okay, so I'm gonna hold off from giving you much on this, and then wait for more data towards the mid-January to end of the January. That will give me more information whether they take out this low or make a new high, and then we can proceed from there. Now if you want to trade or practice, then you can use Friday's range, this high to this low, and then look for a sell to come and attack this low. Okay, because from the weekly perspective, it looks like they might come for this low. Okay, so using this up candle as your reference point, you're looking for something like that. Is it high probability? It can be, because it's an auto block that was created during the New York session, but it's Monday, and obviously you all know Mondays are a little bit risky to trade, so I'll leave that up to you if you want to trade it or not. Going over here, dollar yen, I'm still looking for that as the upside objective. I think before we went away, I was saying that this high to this low, that is the range. All of this is a pullback. We got very close to it and then came back down, but still aiming for that. And ultimately, I think that 158.87 level will eventually be the draw on liquidity. Okay. And my favorite one is the Australian dollar. We did manage to take out this high. We've taken out this low, so I think price is gonna come back down in this range. Hence, we might go and attack this low here. With the bullishness in dollar index, we might go and attack this low here. So look forward for a continuation to the downside. Now, this is one of the best patterns you trade. Whenever we take out a high or low and then immediately we get a close. So we took out this high and then we got this immediate close. That one, whenever we take out a low like this, okay, and we get immediate close like that, those candles, right, a high, immediate close, if you like, you can just trade that, because that's the best auto blocks that exist or you can find, and if they break, they become breakers. Okay, so I'm looking forward for this to keep going down. On the lower time frame, I did investigate. This was the only level that was going to prevent price from going down, and they managed to break it. Okay, so from here, the next level will be maybe all the way down. Let me turn on the sessions. Okay, so that was the level that was preventing price, this one here, right? Now that they've broken it, the next key level will be all the way down here. So there's room to the downside for price to reach, and this New York session is actually creating an auto block, this up candle here. So within the next 22 minutes, this one can also present a trade idea that you can use for a trade idea to go down. This one I'm gonna take it off. I think I took it off. I don't know why it's still there. Okay, it was only for that seasonal period. Okay, now let's go to the cryptocurrencies. We've not done much since we left. Price is still stuck in that consolidation, so my bias still remains lower prices. Nothing has really changed. It's become a little bit difficult to obviously navigate because it's not doing much, right? But I'm still using the weekly time frame as the anchor for price to resume going down. And from the monthly perspective, we've created a fair value gap. We've created a fair value gap, so price is likely gonna continue going down. Same thing with it. Same thing with Ethereum. Price is likely gonna come back down. With Ethereum, I think I did mention that I'm expecting them to come somewhere here between the 70 to 79 retracement level. Okay, because we have a nice bullish range, so this is just a pullback, and then I expect them to go up again. Hence, we are looking for one more push towards these two levels. Solana, same thing. I think eventually it did come for the equal low, but I still like to see them go for 95.16. That's where I think they might ultimately go. XRP, I think I've repeatedly said leave that one alone. Hype, we did eventually get to the 618 level, but I think it's not ready to go up yet. Maybe one more move to the downside towards the 79 retracement level in here, then we start looking for rejection. Chachki doing weird stuff, but let me go to the monthly so you can see what's happening. So on the monthly, we managed to form a swing low, so that's a key, like a pivot. So for now, I think price is likely gonna go up into this candle's low, that candle's low, that swing low, that's the last swing low. So we are likely gonna reach for that. Okay. And then AI 16, I think we went for the low, all-time low, and then as soon as we went for it, price gave a big push, which is on the 19th of December, and left a fair value gap, and currently price is stuck inside that fair value gap, and it looks like it's accumulating. So maybe any moment from now we might see something similar like what Chachki has done. We might see a big surge in price on the AI16Z. Okay, so keep an eye on that, and yeah, we see what will happen in the next few days to come. Okay, so that's pretty much it for now. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you same time tomorrow for another live session. Until then, have a great day, and I'll see you soon.